ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिवचकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सतश्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस श्रील ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपिका श्याम कुंड श्री राधा कुंड श्री गिरि गोवर्धन की ब्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की गंगा मैया जमुना मैया की भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की समवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirahe Nashtapraeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 9, Text 11. Tvam Bhakti Yoga Paribhavita Ritsaraja Ashesha Shrutakshita Patho Nanu Natha Pumsam Yadyadhiha Ta Urugaya Vibhayavanti Tat Vapu Pranayase Sad Anugrahaya Tvam Bhakti Yoga Paribhavita Ritsaroja Shesha Shrutekshita Pathonanunatha Pumsam Yadyadhyata Arugaya Vibhavayanti Tattadvapu Pranayase Sadanugrahaya Tvam Bhakti Yoga Paribhavita Bharitsarajo Shesha Shrutekshita Pathonanunatha Pumsam Yadyadyata Urugaya Vibhavayanti Tatyadvapu Pranayase Sad Anugrahaya Tvam Bhakti Yoga Paribhavita Ritsarajo Ashesha Shrutakshita Pathonanunatha Pumsam Yadyadhyatu Urugaya Vibhayayanti Tat tad vapu pranayase sad anugrahaya.
Tvam bhakti yoga paribhavita hrit saroja. Asheshu tekshita patho nanunatha pumsam. Yadyadhyata urugaya vibhavayanti. Tattadvapu pranayashe sad anugrahaya.
Tvam, unto you, Bhakti Yoga in devotional service, Paribhavita, being 100% engaged, Rit, of the heart, Saroja, on the lotus, Ase, you reside, Shukta Ikshitita, seen through the years, Patha, the path, Nanu, now, Natha, O my Lord, Pumsam, of the devotees, Yat Yat, whichever, Dhiya, by meditating, Te, your, Urugaya, O multi-glorious, Vibhavayanti, they specifically think of, Tat Tat, the very same, Vapu, transcendental form, Pranayase, do you manifest, Sad Anugrahaya, to show your causeless mercy. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. O my Lord, your devotees can see you through the years by the process of bona fide hearing, and thus their hearts become cleansed, and you take your seat there. You are so merciful to your devotees that you manifest yourself in the particular eternal form of transcendence in which they always think of you. Purport. The statement here that the Lord manifests Himself before the devotees in the form in which the devotees like to worship Him indicates that the Lord becomes subordinate to the desire of the devotee, so much so that He manifests His particular form as the devotee demands. This demand of the devotee is satisfied by the Lord because He is pliable in terms of transcendental loving service of the devotee. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 4.11, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam stitavya bhajam yaham. We should note, however, that the Lord is never the order supplier of the devotee. Here in this verse, it is particularly mentioned, Tvam Bhakti Yoga Paribhavita. This indicates that the efficiency achieved through execution of mature devotional service or prema, love of God, This state of prema is achieved by the gradual process of development from faith to love. On faith, one associates with bona fide devotees, and by such association, one can become engaged in bona fide devotional service, which includes proper initiation and the execution of the primary devotional duties prescribed in the revealed scriptures. This is clearly indicated herein by the word Shutekshita. The Shutekshita path is to hear from the bona fide devotees who are conversant with Vedic wisdom, free from mundane sentiment. By this bona fide hearing process, the neophyte devotee becomes cleansed of all material rubbish, and thus he becomes attached to one of the many transcendental forms of the Lord as described in the Vedas. This attachment of the devotee to a particular form of the Lord is due to natural inclination. Each and every living entity is originally attached to a particular type of transcendental service because he is eternally the servitor of the Lord. Lord Chaitanya says that the living entity is eternally a servitor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. Therefore, every living entity has a particular type of service relationship with the Lord eternally. This particular attachment is invoked by the practice of regulative devotional service to the Lord, and thus the devotee becomes attached to the eternal form of the Lord exactly like one who is already eternally attached. This attachment of a particular form of the Lord is called Swarupa Siddhi. The Lord sits on the lotus heart of the devotee in the eternal form the pure devotee desires, and thus the Lord does not part from the devotee as confirmed in the previous verse. The Lord, however, does not disclose himself to a casual or inauthentic worshipper to be exploited. I repeat, the Lord, however, does not disclose himself to a casual or inauthentic worshipper to be exploited. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 7.25. Naham prakasha sarvasya yoga maya samamvrita. Rather, by the yoga maya, the Lord remains concealed to the non-devotees or casual devotees who are serving their sense gratification. The Lord is never visible to the pseudo-devotees who worship the demigods in charge of universal affairs. The conclusion is that the Lord cannot become the order supplier of a pseudo-devotee, but is always prepared to respond to the desire of a pure, unconditional devotee who is free from all tinges of material infection. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari No Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome. So we have been currently celebrating a very special part of the year, which comes every year. What I call the fortnight of gratitude in the form of the Pitru Paksh, where we offer our respects, our gratitude, our gratitude to our forefathers. It's a very important part of our devotional service to be grateful for anything anybody has done for us. So what to speak about our ancestors who have given us this body, because of which we are all able to execute devotional service, for giving us the patra where the spiritual master pours in bhakti. But if there is no patra, where's the question of pouring, right? So it is the last day of this wonderful period. And today we are also reading this words, the prayers of Lord Brahma. And this always becomes very, very relevant to all of us, especially who are part of the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. As we all understand, there are 4 bona fide Sampradayas headed by 4 powerful personalities, pure devotees. Brahma, the 4 Kumaras, Lord Shiva, and Lakshmi Devi. So, of that, the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya is where we belong to in the lineage of Srila Prabhupada and our spiritual ancestors in the form of our glorious Brahma Madhva Sampradaya, originally established by Lord Brahma. So when Lord Brahma is speaking, it obviously becomes very, very special connection for all of us, and we should find that connection. We should understand that this is a very, very special personality whom we are very closely connected to. So this chapter is primarily Lord Brahma's prayers, Lord Brahma's surrender, his realizations of the Lord's supremacy. This whole chapter, the chapter is entitled Lord Brahma's prayers for creative energy. And this whole prayer is where Lord Brahma is seeking blessings from the Lord to perform his service. So Lord Brahma, we just say Lord Brahma. But who is this Lord Brahma? Who is he? He's an extremely powerful personality. He's known by the name Prajapati, Adikavi, Swayambhu, Vedagarbha, Shrishta. These are various beautiful names and many more that our scriptures address him as. Tene Brahma Hriday Adikavaye. The original, the secondary creator, Shrishta. Krishna is of course the primary creator, but who has the place and the exclusive place of being the secondary creator? Now creation, we all understand it takes so much of a hassle, right? Startups is what the world is talking about. Everybody startups, and everybody wants to be startup, bootstrapped and startup, all these terminologies. But it takes a huge effort that this guy is a startup. He has grown from zero to something, phenomenal, right? And then he got his investments, and this is what the world talks about. But who is the original empowered startup? The first person who started everything. There was nothing there. Lord Brahma was sitting and he said, where am I? Who am I? And he wanted to have a startup. And he was empowered to create this most powerful, successful, zero error startup in the form of his creation of the whole universe. Lord Brahma is so powerful that you many times have demons, cheating or sometimes playing around with Lord Shiva, sometimes with Indra, but they dare not take panga with Lord Brahma. He's a serious guy. They say take him very seriously. So Hiranyakashipu was brilliant. We all saw that movie. He said, he knew whom to really worship. I said, I want to worship the best, Lord Brahma. And it took a lot, Brahma is not easily satisfied like Ashutosh. Lord Shiva becomes very satisfied, but Brahma took every inch of his muscle to be eaten up, and his soul just some other entrapped in his bones. That's what it took for Lord Brahma to say, okay, what do you want? So Lord Brahma is an extremely powerful, special personality. Right? So, very, very empowered, very, very special personality. So here, Lord Brahma is teaching a very, very important lesson to us. The first lesson that we learn from this sloka, or from this chapter, that before we embark upon any service, any duties, anything that we do, we should take blessings of the seniors and of the Lord. That is the right samskara. To take blessings so that we create what you call positive energy, protection, and grace to remove all the unseen obstacles. We say that, I remember many, many years back, we used to have Sridama Prabhu making announcements and welcoming the newcomers. And one word that he would use is that, Aapka ye shubharambha thehre, something, the word he used to use, shubharambha. That may this visit, the first visit, be a shubharambha. So arambha sab karte hai, but shubharambha is what is important. What is it that makes something shubh? You have to begin everything, right? So everything has a beginning. But when does that beginning have an auspicious beginning? Shubh arambha. The auspicious beginning is only when we seek blessings of the seniors. And that is the culture, this is a Vedic culture. That we take blessings of people, because we understand that our effort is not only thing that will be sufficient. There are countless other factors which will contribute to our success. If we are proud of our being a macho man and I can achieve things, then I say, who cares? I don't take blessings. And that is Duryodhan mentality. Because he went straight to the head of the Lord. कि मैं तो भी सबके सर पे बैठने वाला आदमी है. But Arjun went to the feet of the Lord. That I want to serve and take blessings of the Lord. Please understand the difference. Right? And finally, for whom it was a Shubharambha? The Lord came where? That was Arjuna. So, we seek blessings before we begin anything, and I thought we should call this seeking blessings of seniors as something what is called mental reset effect. We mentally reset ourselves. We go for an exam and we have worked hard, right? We have studied hard, or we go for the first day in our job. We have really earned the job. And everything we have done ourselves, we have done what is required. But then we have to mentally reset that that's not enough. For that matter, whatever we begin to, and for that matter, even before we chant every single round, we understand that, well, I have the beads, I have the understanding, but this chanting of Hare Krishna will only be successful if I seek blessings of the Panchatattva, if I seek blessings of my spiritual master. And that's why I say, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. And Prabhupada mentions very nicely again and again, and I think we try to stress this word, casual devotee worship versus a sincere devotee. Prabhupada mentions a category of casual devotee. And casual devotees will do everything very casually. That means their chanting will be Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. And no blessings, no seeking anything, nothing is just very casual. Everything is very casual. There is no intensity, there is no seeking blessings. But when we know that there is a need, I'm doing something very important, I need to take blessings, we seek blessings. What does this seeking blessings do, my dear friends? Let's understand. a very important Vedic prescription to all of us. What does it do first? It instills humility. We recognize we are not the sole doer. We are part of a large principle that the Lord has ordained. We are never the original doers. Or Krishna is the doer. Sarva Karana Karanam. We are not the doers. So it instills humility that I seek your blessings. Oh mother, oh father, oh Gurudev, oh senior Vaishnava, oh my dear friend, I seek your blessings. I need your blessings because everything is fine. But without your blessings, it is going to be so many zeros, but we need that one to make the meaning to the zeros. And more the zeros, the one is going to add the value to it. Number one is gives humility. Number two, it reduces anxiety. Knowing that someone greater is empowering us, is blessing us. So first is it gives you humility. And I said, but I have these seniors backing me. So it reduces anxiety when we are doing something. Number three, it makes you very mindful. If I was analyzing that, the act of, many times we want to do, something comes, and what is the immediate desire? You get into it, right? Like many times, even while chanting for that matter, we will just have the bead bag and we just start chanting. We are not mindful of what we are doing. Or for that matter, somebody gives a task, we just start doing that task or devotional service, whatever it is. We'll just, many times when we all may be embarking on a yatra very soon in a month's time, we'll just board the train or board the flight and we'll just start. So yatra, oh, very excited, bags are packed. But wait a minute, take a pause, be mindful, and then seek blessings. Then you know what, I've done everything. I've booked for the yatra, I've got a good room or not so good room, whatever you have got, right? And I'm eagerly waiting. But without the blessings of the seniors, this yatra is not going to be successful. I'm not going to gain something from this yatra. So you seek blessings. So that's why first, it gives you humility. Second, it reduces your anxiety. Third, it allows you to be mindful of what you are doing. Take a pause. I'm not saying take a big break, but take a pause. I say, what am I doing? Yes, I'm doing this. And then seek blessings and then start your service. And this was so very evident and so very empowering in one beautiful episode which happened in Mahabharata. Everything, imagine how the whole battle was, how it came into being. So many efforts were made. Krishna made an effort of being the peacemaker, and so much hard work was done. Finally, the day came where the two armies are face to face with each other. Yes. And Kauravas were dying out of anger to punch and destroy the Pandavas, and Pandavas, Bhima, Arjuna, they were waiting. Right? Can you imagine the eagerness each of them had? The intense anger that each of them had, that let the conch shell begin and we are going to boom, start. Right? But there was one person who was always in Sattva Guna. There is our Yudhishthir Maharaj. He put his bow down, put his armor down, and as a normal person, he started walking. And Duryodhana, as usual, he loves to make fun of people, Many times we have this Duryodhana mentality, all of us. Something happens, we all want to make fun and extract some fun out of it. Anything somebody does, you make fun. Hey. You've seen such people who just love to crack jokes and make somebody become the center of a joke and extract some fun out of it. It is ridiculous. It is very, very shallow. Right? The Duryodhana was, he's scared before the war has begun. Little did the idiot know what he was doing. He didn't know what he was doing. So Yudhishthir, he was laughing at him. Hey, what a fool he is. He got scared before the war began. And Karna was laughing and all the other jokers were laughing with him. Right? The Kaurava jokers. But then Yudhishthir came in front of Bhishma Deva and said, Pitama, please, I'm seeking your blessings. He knew that Bhishma Deva was from the opposite camp. But he still said that, whoever I am, I cannot win this war without your blessings. I seek your blessings. And Bhishma Dev couldn't stop but give him the blessings, Vijay Bhava. He couldn't stop it. He said, yeah, you be victorious. And Duryodhana was like, my God, what is this? And then he went to Duryodhana, to Dronacharya. I said, oh Gurudev, you are my guru. How can I begin this war without seeking your blessings? It is an integral custom. It is required. This whole war will be of no meaning if I don't seek your blessings. And Dronacharya said, I was waiting for you to come to take blessings. If you would have not come to take blessings, I would have cursed you to be defeated in this war. That was what Dronacharya said. I said, now that you have come, I give you blessings of victory. My God. Duryodhana said, beginning May, 2 balls, 2 sixes. First 2 balls, first 2 sixes. Oof, wow, how the match has begun. Huh? So that was the brilliance. This was not a strategic move, my dear friends. It was not a strategy. It was a deep-rooted in a culture that Yudhishthira Maharaj was following, to seek blessings. And not just jump into something. Chalo, war hai, chalo, boom, 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 start fighting. No, there was something deep, right? So he had humility. I'm sure he was huge anxiety. But he said, now I have to take seeking blessings, no anxiety. And third is he was mindful. He took a pause. Right? So that was, similarly, my dear friends, what we just, just recently, I think last Sunday itself, we celebrated a very special day where Prabhupada reached the Boston harbor. So again, Prabhupada was also, how much effort had gone to really come to that stage of reaching Boston, right? So much effort. We all know. We don't want to repeat it. Baldev Prabhu gave a brilliant class to explain what had gone there. But Prabhupada didn't just jump into, chalo, Boston, now what do I do? What do I do? Let me start my preaching. Let me catch people. Prabhupada takes a pause and writes that beautiful bhajan, marking the Bhagavad Dharma, and he says that, oh Lord, I seek your blessings. I don't know why you got me here. I don't know whether they will understand my language. And this whole series of outpouring of humility, outpouring of genuine feelings, outpouring of desperate need for empowerment comes from Prabhupada's pen. And he writes there, not knowing very well. He didn't even know this is going to be ever read. Please understand. He didn't know, and it was revealed to everybody in 1971. After practically 6 years, it was revealed to people, this particular, even for 6 years, this was not known. Prabhupada wrote this. What was it all? What was Prabhupada doing? He was sincerely seeking blessings before he embarked. And when he took those blessings, can you imagine what sort of empowerment was there upon Prabhupada? It was already there, but much more was, on Prabhupada. So this is the importance. So Lord Brahma, he's a powerful person. He's a secondary creator, and he knows that. I said, he's empowered. But this whole chapter is called Brahma Prayers for Creative Energy. This whole chapter, Lord Brahma, before he starts his creation, he's desperately praying to the Lord. And in this verse, and various beautiful prayers, and in this verse, Brahma is saying something very beautiful. The whole chapter is nothing about glorifying the Lord, glorifying the personality of the Lord, his empowerment, his power. And he said, I am simply an instrument in your hand. Please just empower me. Similar, like Prabhupada said, na chao, Prabhu, na chao se mat. I am simply a puppet in your hand, and let me make me dance. And, so you can do whatever you want from me. So Lord Brahma, who is also, can you imagine how powerful person he is? He's seeking blessings of the Lord. And here in this verse, so please, first line, very important, all of us, let us learn from our original Acharya, that before we begin anything, in fact, before we begin our day, how do we begin our day? You offer respects, to your spiritual master, to Bhumi Devi. It's not that you just get up and say, okay, There should be a pause. They said, okay, I've got this one new day. Let this day will be spent. So it's all about internalization. It's all about how you really can see, the practice that you are performing, even the day-to-day mundane activities, but how you see that, how dependent you are on blessings. I remember many, many years back, Radhanath Maharaj made a beautiful statement which beautifully encapsulates the whole personality of the Pandavas and the Kauravas in just one statement. He said that what were the Pandavas doing? They were doing everything to attract blessings. And the Kauravas were doing everything to attract curses. That was their life. Pandavas, whatever they did, small, big, they were simply seeking blessings of the sadhus, of the elders. There was blessings. Their life was filled with blessings. And the Kauravas, whatever they did was simply attracting curses. So what do you want in your life? Blessings. If you want blessings, you begin your day with... And it is so natural that, it is just physics. That moment something is in a lower gradient, automatically the energy or whatever flows from the higher gradient to a lower gradient. Right? That's natural, right? You understand. From higher gradient to if something has to flow, it flows only when there's a gradient, when there is a slope, or there's something which is high and low. That's called a gradient in physics. Similarly, if you start your duty without seeking blessing, then you are thinking that you are equal. So there is nothing flowing. The moment you take a lower position, etc., I seek blessings. I cannot chant. Many times people say, I've been chanting for 30 years. I don't need, maybe there's a mental, talk going on inside. I don't need blessings. And you just start. But if you seek this blessing, so please understand, this is a beautiful, beautiful practice that Lord Brahma is teaching all of us of seeking blessings. Very, very important. And then whatever we do will be what? Shubha Arambha. You will add the Shubha, the auspiciousness to whatever you do. So now the Lord Brahma is saying in the beginning, he's saying, your devotees can see you through the years. Very, very funny statement. Right? If you don't understand if somebody told you, this was not Bhagavatam, and you were not a devotee, suppose you heard this, then Prabhu, you can see through your years. I say, क्या बोलते हैं? कान से देखने का? What? How can somebody see through the years? Have you gone crazy? What are you talking about? Huh? So many times such statements, you find it very absurd and very strange. Of course, none of us are finding it strange because we are just so used to this concept. But just imagine that you always heard this for the first time. Sing through your years. So many times, we have this... eyes are very, very important. We all like to see things, right? We all like to see. And there are various phrases. We say, seeing is believing. Right? A picture is worth 1,000 words. We have this phrase. To see is to know. This English phrase, right? Seeing is believing. What I see, I believe. मेरे को दिखाओ क्या है वो. तूने काम किया, मेरे को दिखा पहले वो काम किया कि नहीं. I want to see that the work is done. If I see it the way it is done, then I believe it. Right? So we have that. And also we have phrases like, seeing is deceiving. Yeah, the same English language has phrase, seeing is deceiving. So not all that glitters is gold. Right? We also have a phrase, don't judge the book by its cover. Same English language has the same phrase. We also have the phrase, we only see what we want to see. It's a phrase. Reality is often hidden behind the illusion. So here you have two phrases, English language. Seeing is believing. Another is saying, seeing is deceiving. Then it says, don't judge the book by its cover. When you saw the book, but don't judge, because you saw it, but don't judge it by its cover, because what you see is not what you know. So, we must understand that the senses that we have are very, very, very extremely, even materially, forget spiritually, limited. I remember Indradum Maharaj was giving a small lecture, and he went to meet his friend. This was before he was a devotee. And he was mentioning that he went to meet his friend, and his friend said that, I got a very, very new, a new species of a dog. I've just bought a dog. So he said, where is the dog? So he took a small whistle type of thing, and he just blew into it. He didn't make any sound. But the dog came running. Bow, 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 bow. And Joma said, what did you do? I said, this is called a dog whistle. That's what, I didn't hear the whistle. But dogs can hear below 20 hertz. What is our range of hearing, doctor? 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz? Is it right? Doctor Sahib? Yeah. So that's our range. We cannot hear anything below 20, and we cannot hear everything above 20,000. Right? So this dog whistle is designed in such a way that it makes sound which is below 20 hertz. So dogs can hear it very nicely. So many times what they play, it is not so much, luckily not in India, but in America, this people who do mischief, they play this whistle in the night, and the dogs start barking everywhere because they hear this whistle. And nobody knows where this whistle is coming from. But bah, 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 dogs. So dogs start barking because they hear it. But you don't hear the sound because it is below the range that you can capture. So anyway, so we should all understand that our senses are very, very limited. You all agree to this, right? We cannot see properly, we cannot hear properly. That's why we have, we also have this three monkeys. What is it? Three monkeys is originally from the Japanese culture, as I understand. But now in India we call it, what do we call it? Somebody's monkey, right? So I don't know what it is, but it is. So it said that see no evil, hear no evil, and speak no evil, right? So one monkey is like this, one monkey is like this, and one monkey is like this, right? But there's a fourth monkey. How many of you know there's a fourth monkey? New, latest addition to this monkey. This fourth monkey, he sees no one, he hears no one, and speaks to no one because he's busy on his mobile. There's a fourth monkey which has just come in the market. You have seen this type of, we don't want to call them monkeys, but this type of people, right? They don't bother what's going on in the train now. They are not bothered. Jhagda hua karne do, mere ko to. On the lighter side, right? But what we understand is that the senses are not perfect, and we want to really only use the senses not for evil things, and that's why we want to see the right things, we want to hear the right things, and we want to speak the right things. But still we know that senses, seeing through the ears, what does it mean? The ear is the doorway of transformation. The ear, please understand one thing. All the senses are doorways to information, but the ear is the doorway to transformation. All senses will give you information. Jasmine. The nose smelled jasmine. I said, this is jasmine. Bandra ki khadi. The nose gave you information. This is Bandra. We are passing Bandra. Right? So that's the nose, information. There's no transformation. The nose, of course, you smell tulsi, there is transformation, but the ear is what gives the major transformation. And the senses, all the senses the activities of all the senses can be performed through the ears. That's how powerful the ear is. Because, please understand, just like this dog whistle, that whistle only the dogs can hear. Right? Similarly, how do we attract the Lord? How do we really interact with the Lord? The Lord is available through only Shravan Indriya. And I will explain this in detail. So let's first establish the power of hearing. Because Lord Brahmaji is saying hearing is important. So first we can see through the ears. What do you mean that, for example, if I just, for the next 2 minutes, just try to close your eyes. If you can't close, don't close. But if you can, close it. But the whole purpose is that if I tell you something that, okay, we are now in the beautiful land of Vrindavan where there's beautiful Jamuna flowing and we are singing Jai Radha Madhav Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jamuna Tatachara. What do you see? You actually can see Vrindavan, right? I mean, we are all very mundane, at least I am very mundane, and hopefully none of us are pure devotees. If you are, then all glories to you. But just by the sound vibration, we are able to see through the ears. And it's not only a spiritual thing. If I tell you, now you have just landed and in front of you is the mighty Statue of Liberty. You are there in Statue of Liberty. You will see the Statue of Liberty. You feel you are in America, right? So that's the power of the sound vibe. So you can see through your ears. You agree? Yes. Similarly, we use this phrase, Prabhu, your words have touched my heart. And what touched the heart? So the feeling of touching also happens through hearing. Somebody has said, your words pierced my heart. So you have a feeling of getting pierced by words. Your words are very soothing. So that means somebody is soothing you. Right? Like Radhanath Maharaj speaks or any, the words are so soothing. So what are the words doing? Nobody's actually soothing you. Nobody's actually piercing you. But somebody's cruel words just pierce your heart. Oh my God, terrible. But nothing has happened, no blood, nothing. But the words, the Shravan Indriya gives that feeling. So you can touch through your ears. You agree? The second thing is, if I tell you, okay, in the Kartik Yatra, close your eyes, my dear friends, and there's going to be beautiful Thai curry. Oh. And for Sridama Prabhu, there's nice khichdi every day, because he loves khichdi. I mean, we describe this. I don't want to really get into that imagination. But when you say, a gulab jamun, and the way it is explained, the gulab jamun, I think, there was a particular explanation I read, Prabhupada, when Radhanath Swami had made that sandesh, sandesh. And then, Prabhupada bit it and it was splashed and the way it was explained. You don't have to be there, but you can actually visualize it. And you can say, oh my God, what a taste. Oh, blah, 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 blah. I did this exercise with somebody yesterday. I made him close your eyes. I said, close your eyes. I said, there is a beautiful, bright, yellow, fresh lemon. I said, oh, lemon, very nice. I'm cutting the lemon, and there's some juices just splurged out. And then I'm getting the lemon close to your lips. And I'm pressing it slightly, and a small drop has fallen on your lips. Prabhuji, khatta laga. Right? And the fragrance of lemon and right? So this is through hearing you can taste. Of course, you cannot say, the temple will not say, now we'll have a half an hour lecture on what is going to be fed. Abhi jao ghar pe. Ho gaya khana, ho gaya. Of course, we have to actually eat. Right? But, and the second is smelling through the ears. The fragrance can be beautifully described through the ears. So like that, we can perform all the four senses activities through the ears. That's the power. And that is why, as Prabhupada explains the purport also, that what is the whole process of how does the Lord sit in the heart? Is explained, right? That when you hear, Prabhupada, the purport says, and even the verse says that the Lord sits in the lotus of your heart. How does it really work? How does the whole mechanics work of some hearing happening and the Lord sitting on your heart? Let's discuss. Right? So there is this 6-stage process. Shravana, Manana, Smarana, Dhyan, Anubhav, Bhav, and Prem. So first is hearing. You sit and hear attentively the teachings. Very important point written here. The teachings from bona fide sources. Prabhupada is again and again stressing. The hearing has to be from bona fide sources. So let's assume by default that we are hearing from bona fide sources. And we are hearing the beautiful Krishna Katha. And that it has gone into our ears. That's Shravana Indra. Attentive oral reception, as we hear in Bhagavad Gita. Attentive oral reception. Attentive means focused. With humility, you are hearing, you are receiving from the speaker. What the speaker has heard from his guru. So we are hearing that. After hearing, what happens? What should happen? Hearing and then contemplation. That is mananam. The reflecting on what we have heard, resolving doubts and churning the meaning until it becomes a conviction. Please understand this. Hearing is happening. But that hearing has to become conviction, right? What you have heard. If you don't do this manana, my dear friends, the hearing just happens and it gets lost because it doesn't get transformed into a conviction. What is the difference between listening and hearing? Two words meaning maybe apparently looks the same thing. I'm listening, I'm hearing. Listening means you hear and it goes out here. Because the next process of mananam, which gives, what is hearing? Hearing means you hear, and it goes here. So there is something which diverts that hearing and doesn't allow it to go straight. And that diversion is contemplation. When you get convinced, you solve your doubts. You're not saying you accept it blindly. Mananam means solving the doubts. And then from mananam comes smaranam. After you are convinced, and then repeatedly calling the Lord's names, pastimes, memories become affectionate recollection, keeping Krishna present in the heart throughout the day. Smaranam. Oh, it was so nice. First you heard, we'll go to Vrindavan. Second, but how do I go to Vrindavan? How is Vrindavan? But then when you go to Vrindavan, you say, then you remember Vrindavan. Smaranam. Then after Smaranam is remembrance. What is first? First is Shravanam. Second is Mananam means contemplation. English word is also good so that we can easily remember. Shravanam, the Mananam, contemplation. Smaranam means remembrance. And then comes Dhyan, meditation. Deeply absorption where remembrance becomes steady and unbroken. The mind is no longer wandering but rests at the Lord's lotus form or whatever we are meditating upon. So that from conviction comes smaranam, remembrance, and from remembrance we are doing dhyan. And we'll explain to you with examples. It will be very, very beautifully understood. So from dhyan, meditation, what happens? Anubhav. When you are deeply meditating, then actually you have experience, sakshat experience of the Lord. The Lord reveals himself within the purified heart. And then comes bhav or spiritual emotion. So let us understand 3 examples of people who went to this process. One is representing the sadhana bhakti process. The one who was a sadhana bhakta. Other is a shravana bhakta. And the third is raganuga bhakta. Okay? So we take the example of Dhruv Maharaj as a sadhana bhakta. So what happened? Dhruv Maharaj Shravanam, he heard from Narad Muni about the mantra and worship, right? He heard. Narad Muni said, Chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So then, Hare Krishna. So he heard from Narad Muni, and then he was contemplating. And reflects on Narad Muni's words, accepts the process despite his childish anger. He had anger, but he still accepted it. He had his childish anger. How? But he just said, no, I will do it. So that was mananam. There was some contemplation going on. Okay, the Guru is telling me, I must just accept it. And then he repeated, the next one is Smaranam. He started repeating, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, remembering the Lord. And then the remembrance became so intense that he was doing dhyan on the Lord. And his mind fixed on the Lord, and that dhyan is connected with some devotional service. In his case, his devotional service was austerity that he performed as part of his dhyan. What was the austerity? No eating. Sometimes, eating once every few days, then eating one every few months, and then eating just dry leaves every few months. That was austerity. So that dhyan gave rise to what is called Anubhav. The Lord appeared before him, granting his darshan. And from that Anubhav, the Lord came, and Anubhav, he had bhava or emotions. And then in that emotions, oh my dear Lord, what did he say out of emotion? What did he say? He said, oh my dear Lord, I was looking for broken pieces of glass. But now what I have got is a rare diamond. That was the outcome of his emotions, because he followed the process. There was emotions in his heart. And that emotions gave rise to prema, in the form of, he gave up the desire to earn the kingdom, and he has complete surrender to the Lord. So that is sadhana bhakta. So that's not example of Parikshit Maharaj. This is the process. Since I specifically took the example of Shravana Bhakta, one who perfected his life through just Shravan. He's the epitome of Shravan. So he said, so Shravan, he heard from Sukadeva Goswami, right? We all know that he was just ordered that you are going to die in 7 days. What do I do? He said, you hear from Sukadeva Goswami. So he sat and heard. And then he did mananam, contemplation. And what is part of mananam? One of the important things is clearing your doubts. And so many places you see in Bhagavatam, Parikshit Maharaj saying, but how is this possible? But you mentioned to me about Yudhishthira, but where is Yudhishthira Maharaj? Where is Maitreya Rishi? So he asked questions. So that was very specific related to Shravanam. Yeah, he was contemplating and clearing his doubts. And then as he was hearing, he was absorbed. And what was the absorption? What is the sign that he was absorbed? He was not engaged in any other activity. What you are saying? No hunger and thirst. Absolutely right. He had no hunger and thirst. He was simply absorbed in hearing. And then dhyana. And then he fixed his mind on lotus feet of the Lord, which is very beautifully explained in the 12th canto, 6th chapter, verse number 7. This is the last few chapters. And he says that Parikshit Maharaj knew that the time has come, that at that time, after hearing the Bhagavatam, he said, I simply want to focus on the lotus feet of the Lord. And then Anubhav. Then he actually had the Takshak Nag coming. The snake came. At that time, he could see the presence of the Lord in his heart. The same experience is explained that he experienced when the Lord saved him when he was in the womb of his mother. The same experience, he had the Lord personally present to give him that protection. And then Bhava. He became humble, grateful, satisfied by hearing Bhagavatam. And then he, of course, we understand that he achieved prema. Went back to Godhead. So similarly for us devotees also, Prabhus, that we all hear from the spiritual master. We all take a vow to chant 16 rounds every day and follow the 4 principles. We clarify. So every day is a process for all of us. In these people's cases, whole thing was sort of sandwiched. Whole thing was completely zipped into 7 days. For Dhruva Maharaj, it was all packed up in few months. For us as sadhakas, the way we are in and it will be a day-to-day process. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chittite Koriyo Akya Arna Koriyo Mane Asha. That is what drives our life. To take the instruction of the spiritual master as our life and soul. He has told us to chant 16 rounds. Every day we'll sit and chant 16 rounds. If you have doubts, if we need help, we seek help. How do you chant, Prabhu? Please tell me, how do you chant? How do you really take care of the sleepiness that I experience, the apathy that I have for chanting? So you clarify your doubts. And that's an ongoing process. That's why we have japa reform. The japa has to be reformed. There was a Sasrup Das Goswami Maharaj wrote the japa reform book, where we have to constantly keep on reforming the japa. That japa which happened, it obviously becomes very, very diluted and watered down in due course. We have to keep on reforming it. Originally came from the words of a guru, Shravanam. Then you do Mananam, then you hear Bhagavatam. And what is Bhagavatam hearing? Is Smaranam. You are just remembering the Lord's pastimes. And that's why Prabhupada said, every single day you must hear Bhagavatam. Every single day you must chant. And then comes Dhyan. And that is why very important for devotees to sit when you are in front of the Lord. We are not here to really find faults with the dressing of the Lord. Aaj ye kyun aisa hai? We are here to really focus. Oh my dear Lord, so nice that you are giving us darshan. We are here to chant intense rounds, absorbed rounds. And of course, if your ongoing process is dhyana, then one fine day, whenever that happens in this lifetime, after many lifetimes, we will definitely experience anubhav, where it's explained that the Lord, as Dhruv Maharaj was doing intense tapasya, and suddenly the Lord touched him with his conch shell. And one fine day, hopefully, by the blessings of all the seniors, all the Guru Varga in our lives, we will for sure, if we are following the process, we will, where there will be an anubhav. Can you imagine that day? What that day will be like? Where we actually experience the Lord. Oh my God, the Lord has come. Either He'll come in different ways, I don't know how. And then we'll have anubhav. And then there will be so much of ecstasy, so much of bliss. And then prema. So this process, starting from Shravan to Prem. And of course, the last process is the Raganuga way of it. They also follow the same process. What happened? The gopis of Vrindavan, the best examples of Raganuga Bhakti. What happened? They heard the flute, Shravanam. They heard the flute. And then Mananam, they said, oh, this is the flute, this is our life and soul. Our Pranadhan Krishna or Gopinath is calling us. And they were just contemplating on this form, this flute. And Smaranam. And then they're constantly recollecting. And this is a particular pastime where Krishna had left them from the rasa dance. So they were discussing. They all came attracted by Krishna's flute. But then Krishna had left. So they're discussing how. So how does Krishna play his flute? And they're just constantly doing what is called smaranam of the beauty of Krishna, the beauty of Krishna's love and how he attracts, and the beauty of Krishna's pastimes. Gopis were doing the same thing. And then they meditated deeply on Krishna's lotus feet. It is explained by the acharyas that the gopis' meditation was in this complete selfless service to the Lord. That samadhi doesn't necessarily only mean that you are just doing no activity. The samadhi means that when you are 100% dedicated, all your mana, kaya, vacha, manasa, deho, geho, yo, kichumur, whatever you have, you are dedicated to the Lord. That's 100% samadhi. And that was what the gopis were all about. They're completely in dhyan, meditation of the Lord. And then they experienced Krishna. Krishna came in their lives. They could see Krishna. And then there was bhav. And now in this case, the acharyas explained, this particular explanation was given by Sachinandan Swami, that in this case, the gopis of course experienced bhav when they met Krishna. But Krishna also experienced tremendous bhav when he sees his devotee. And the Krishna says that, I cannot repay you for what you have done for me. Na parye aham. I cannot repay you. That is the bhava exchange between the Lord and his devotees. And then, of course, the gopis experienced prema. After bhav came prema. So like that, Prabhus, we should all understand that this whole process of Shravan is so powerful that just by the word entering our ears to Krishna coming it's a beautiful process of Shravanam, then Mananam, contemplation, Smaranam means remembrance, then Dhyan means meditation, then Anubhav means direct experience, then Bhava means spiritual emotions, and Prema means pure love. Now, many times we say, Prabhuji, is a pure love. I don't understand what is all this. Yes, we don't understand. It's too lofty a play, to talk. But it is what the acharyas have given us. It is the process. Adau Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangoda Bhajana Kriya Anartha Nivrisha Ruchis Tata. From Ruchi comes Bhav and Bhav comes Prem. Rupa Goswami has given us that process. We should know the process because that is the inheritance we inherit from our acharyas. We should not shy away from discussing that. Yes, it is very lofty. Yes, we should not be a sahajya, think that we are there. It takes a huge amount of effort to reach there. But we should not shy away from discussing the great inheritance that we have received from our Goswamis, the great inheritance we have received from our acharyas. It is a process that they have given. And one fine day, if we do follow the process, we will inherit that wealth that we have got. Starting with Shravanam. But this whole thing will work only if we are not casual devotees. And that is a big, I was amazed to Prabhupada is specifically saying non-devotees and casual devotees. That Prabhupada was very conscientious of the fact that he wanted to drive the point that even a non-devotee is, or even a casual devotee is as good as a non-devotee. That's what he's trying to say basically. Because he said for a casual devotee and non-devotee, this will not affect them. So please decide what you want to be. Or please let's all decide what we want to be. A sincere devotee means whatever he does, he tries to do it with intensity, with feelings. Every single day. So that is why, and even I was thinking that in 1922 when Srila Prabhupada met Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that first meeting, and that famous meeting, in that discussion which happened through words, the whole ISKCON and BBT and everything that we see now was packed up in that discussion. Because Prabhupada followed the whole process. Shravan, Manan on the instruction, a lifetime of preparation. How do I fulfill the order of my spiritual master? And then Smaranam, intense remembering this spiritual master. Oh my, please empower me. And then what happens after that? Dhyan, meditation on how do I fulfill various ways, intensely working hard. Jhansi, no success. Somewhere doing something to fulfill that desire. Jaladuta, begging for the ticket. It was as good as samadhi for Prabhupada. To fulfill the order of his guru was samadhi. He was in that Radha Damodar temple writing the Bhagavatam. It was samadhi for him. He was preparing for it. And then after all the work, after Dhyan, what happens? Anubhav. Prabhupada experienced Krishna protection in Jaladuta. Isn't that? Of course, Prabhupada was experiencing Krishna all the time. But he experienced Krishna's protection. And then what happened? Then there was Bhav, and that I said, Prabhupada says, Krishna, what have you done? What sort of empowerment? How he's seeing the hippies turning into happies? Prabhupada was dumb. He was just so ecstatic. And that's how this whole movement came. But it all started with one principle. A disciple hearing the order of his spiritual master with intensity. So in that one intense instruction was packed up the whole thing, what is manifesting. It continues to get manifested. And the second part of the verse, oh my God, it is 10:45. The second part of the verse, which is explained, is also very, very sweet. It is explained here. So this was the first aspect of the verse that we are talking about. The second aspect is, you are so merciful to your devotee that you manifest yourself in the particular eternal form of transcendence in which they always think of you. This is another Lord Brahma is saying, you are glorious, amazing. See, for Krishna, it is not a one size fits all. Let me explain. It's not that, okay, now you are a devotee, so you will get to see only one form. Krishna playing the flute, that's all you got to see. That's all I have. I don't want to waste time. But kya sabka mein fulfill karu desire? It is not one size fits all. Krishna is so sweet and so amazing and so reciprocative. He's a king of reciprocation, actually. So it's explained by Lord Brahma that you are so merciful. And the Acharyas explain, why is Lord Brahma saying you are so merciful? Krishna is so merciful because he does not demand the devotee to adjust with him, but he adjusts with his devotees. Then you know what? Now you are fulfilled. Now you get to see the way I am. Yours. But he adjusts. Okay, you want to see Narasimha Dev? Is that your Aradhya Bhagwan? The Lord manifests as Narasimha Dev. And we will take so many beautiful examples of in our Shastras where the Lord adjusts to the devotee's desire. Isn't that beautiful, Prabhus? The Lord does not demand that now I am the boss, you get to see what I show you. But they say, no, I will show you what have you been manifesting in your heart. So that's what it says. You manifest your particular eternal form of transcendence in which the devotees are thinking. So what happens is, this shows that every devotee, Prabhupada beautifully explains that every single devotee has a eternal relationship with the Lord. What is that words? Nitya Siddhya Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunoy Shravanadi Suddhi Chitte Karore Udoy. That the pure eternal love of God is there in everyone's heart. Nitya Siddhya Krishna Prema is there in everyone's heart, not only human beings. Every single soul has that Nitya Siddhya Krishna Prema. Sadhya Kabunoy. It is there. But it is clouded by ignorance. Shravanadi Suddha Chitte. By Shuddha Chitte, by purely hearing. Shravanadi Suddha Chitte Karore Udoy. That's like the sun is always there, but right now it is covered up because the clouds of rain. But sun is there. Similarly, Karore Udoy, by hearing, it just rises in your heart. Similarly, every single devotee has a special relationship to a particular form of the Lord. And they do not want to relate to any other form but that form. And there's a beautiful example. We have, again, examples of the gopis of Vrindavan. The gopis always wanted to see Krishna in the two-court bending form, Shyamasundar playing his flute. But Krishna said, let me just trick them. And we have this famous place, Paitha. I think many of us are going to go to Yatra for that place. It is in Govardhan, Paitha. And the gopis were searching for the Lord. Where is the Lord? Where is the Lord? He had left them. And then the Lord said, let me trick them. So the Lord took the form of Narayan, which is also known as Radha Paitha Bihari. Narayan. And then he took the four form and it was the same Lord. But as explained by our acharyas, the gopis saw said, Om Namo Narayana, Haribol, Jai Narayan, Jai Bhagwan, Jai. Where is Krishna? Mudde ki baat karo. You are great, Narayan, all glories to you. Where is Krishna? The gopis want to only see Krishna. And Radharani wants to see only Krishna. And of course, Krishna, we know, he couldn't maintain that four-arm form of Narayan. Interestingly, right, we have Radha Gopinath here, and we have Lakshmi Narayan down there. So even it is also very interesting that we have the same format in our own temple. So similarly, there was a devotee by the name Tulsidas. He was a writer. This story I heard from Satyanandan Swami again, a writer of Ramayana. So he went to Jagannath Puri. He said that he went to the place, it is explained in the Shastra, where there is a blue mountain. That Blue Mountain means Jagannath Puri. So he went and he saw Lord Jagannath, Baldev and Subhadra there. But he said that, where is Ram? Ram nahi dikh rahe mere ko. So he left the temple without much fun. Maja nahi aaya. So then Subhadra told Jagannath, as per the story, I said, you have promised that not a single devotee of yours will go without prasad from your temple. This person has gone without prasad. How can you do this? I said, Jagannath said, why he went without prasad? I said, what happened? I said, because he doesn't relate to you at all. They said, okay, tell him to come tomorrow. Now I understand what he wants. And then Tulsidas, the same. Jai Gaura, Jai Krishna, Jai Jagannath. We have that verse that where Jagannath is same as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is same as, what's that, that word, that bhajan also has Ram, right? Yeah, thank you. So that verse also has Ram. Ram, is that, what's that, Puraba Hoy, something. Ravana Badila, right? So that Ram, Jagannath, Chaitanya is the same thing. But then Tulsidas came the next day and he said, he saw Lord Jagannath in a green form carrying a bow and an arrow. I said, abhi maja aaya. This is... The Lord didn't demand, better you take what I am, Jagannath, I'm in Jagannath Puri, I'll be Jagannath. But Lord adjusted to the devotee's desire and he showed him the form of Sri Ramachandra. And Balabhadra became Lakshman. And Mother Sita also manifested. So then he said, wow, this is Ram Darbar. So the Lord, and we have so many examples here, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealing the Radha Krishna Leela pastimes and various, right? So like that, the Lord is so wonderful that He manifests. And one of the most beautiful stories is we will be very soon singing about it. Any guesses? Yes, it is revealed to Satyavrat Muni. Satyavrat Muni says that, you know what, I do not want to see anything. I want to just see that childhood pastimes of yours, and that childhood pastimes specifically, where you are bound by Mother Yashoda, and the Lord revealed to him such graphic details of the pastime that you see how he writes. Idam te mukham bhoja atyanta nilair, vitam kundale snigdha raktischa gopya. It's such minute details. Mus chumbitam bimba. So he writes with such, because he's seeing. And he's seeing and he's writing. Wow. Similarly, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we have this Bhoga Arti. Right? You cannot write the way he is written unless until you are seeing it. Chole bole laddu khai shri madhu mangal bagal bajaya bare bola. Then luchi chini sarapuri laddu rasabali. So he's writing each ingredient. Laddu bhi hai, rasabali bhi hai. Then roti ta gritana. The roti hai, usme ghee laga hai, grit. बहुत सारा घी लगा है उस पे. So he saw that ghee also in that roti. He's writing it. Right? And Radhika re ghane heri nehre na kone. That after all everybody's eating and Krishna is eating, and what happens? He saw a little around. He said, oh, Radharani is there. And she's hiding from a corner and seeing from her eyes. Oh, how is Krishna honoring this? What did he like? Oh, he liked that. Next time I'll make that better. So she's seeing, so he's describing this. How is it possible? Because the Lord reveals to what the devotee wants to see. And isn't this so beautiful, Prabhus? That the Lord so wonderfully is so reciprocative and reveals to whatever he wants to do. So similarly, we have examples of Mother Yashoda. No matter whatever form Mother Yashoda sees, she will see Krishna only as Bal Gopal. No. And Krishna is happy to be seen as Bal Gopal, Mother Yashoda. Bhishma Dev. Bhishma Dev had what is a special secondary relationship with Krishna, secondary rasa, which what we call primary rasas are the 5, and there are 7 secondary rasas. One is that is called Virya Ras, chivalry. So he wanted to have a rasa with Krishna where he sees Krishna fighting. So Krishna saw Rathanga Pane, he actually, that beautiful painting with our ISKCON artists have done, which so beautifully captures that whole scene where Bhishma Dev is seeing Krishna getting very angry and carrying that wheel, and Arjuna stopping, oh Lord, please don't break your promise. And Bhishma Dev says, I'm so happy. I've been successful in making Krishna break his promise. Now, Krishna, you can kill me. I don't care. So he just gives up everything. You see Bhishma Dev just waiting like this. Right? Because that was the perfection of his life. Krishna manifested. Krishna broke his promise just to fulfill the desire of his pure devotee. This is how Krishna is so pliable or malleable, as we can say in physics. So malleable in the way he deals with his devotees. So adjustable. But it's very clearly explained. He does not do this for casual devotees. Prabhupada can't. Casual लोग के लिए कुछ नहीं होगा ये सब. Non-devotees and casual devotees. I loved the way Prabhupada was so specific here, It was hitting me every time I read, oh my God, casual. Because the fact is, we become casual in due course, right? It's a wake-up message for all of us. Prabhupada is very clearly demarcating non-devotee and casual devotee. So I think, my dear friends, let's all becomes intense in our sadhana, and the way you can become intense in your sadhana in whatever you do is by associating with people who are intense in their sadhana. And there are always some people, everybody has their ups and downs in sadhana bhakti, they have the highs and lows. But if you have many, many wonderful friends, there always find friends who are in their highs. You associate with those people, and when they are going through their lows, you be the high for them, and you help them. And that's what friendship is all about. Friendship is all about helping each other. And by doing that, if we continue doing intense Krishna consciousness, and not casual Krishna consciousness, if we are all doing intense Krishna consciousness, then we are definitely following the path. Because we are on that path, whether we like it or not, we are following the path, and we are rightful claimants to the path that the acharyas have laid down for us, provided we follow it properly. And if we do follow it, Shravan, Manan, Smaran, Dhyan, Anubhav, Bhav, Prem. And if we follow this, I'm sure by mercy of spiritual master, mercy of Prabhupada, we will definitely, hopefully, one fine day, whenever the day comes, Kabe habe bolo se din amar. Whenever that happens, we will be able to, make our spiritual master happy by perfecting our life in Krishna consciousness. And that is the great gift that Lord Brahma is telling us in this chapter. And again, the focus area is seeing through your ears, and by hearing intensely, by establishing Krishna in your heart. And when Krishna is established in your heart, he will reveal to the devotee in that particular form. For many of us, we want to see Krishna as Radha Gopinath. He will be Radha Gopinath up there. Same. You'll see him same up there also. If somebody wants to... I remember one person, Maharaj told me an example of one devotee. He was ISKCON devotee, but his Aradhya Bhagwan is Narasimha. I won't name him. Aradhya Bhagwan Narasimha, and he has a beautiful big Narasimha Murti. He worships very, very intensely. And he's having that bhav with Krishna. He was genuinely a Narasimha worshipper. And you know what? Maharaj visited his place, and he saw the murti, and on the altar he saw he had given Narasimha AK-47. Because it's America, you have license you have arms, right, in America. So in his altar he had Narasimha AK-47. He said, Narasimha can use AK-47, what's the harm? Of course, I'm not here to decide whether it is right or wrong, but I'm just mentioning. The point I'm driving here is that there are people who have genuine, the Aradhya Bhagwan is Narasimha Dev, the Aradhya Bhagwan is Vaman Dev, the Aradhya Bhagwan is, and Krishna will reciprocate in that beautiful form that we are all worshipping. So thank you very, very much, Prabhus. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. We would like to hear from Rohinandan Prabhu, Dayal Chandra Prabhu, Upendra Prabhu, Vrishabhanu Prabhu, Sridam Sakha Prabhu, Devipriya Mataji, Giri Govardhan Prabhu, Bhakti Priya Mataji. Anybody wants to share something? Please. We have 2 minutes, 3 minutes left for the lecture to get over. Sridam Sakha Prabhu. Any questions? Yes.
Hare Krishna. How to know if someone or I am a casual devotee or sincere devotee? Like I try to practice Krishna consciousness, but while chanting, I'm always inattentive, and my heart is filled with all the anarthas, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, matsar. So how to be like a sincere?
No,
devotee?
so casual devotee doesn't necessarily mean that your practices are perfect, because that is not because we have it's not easy to practice Krishna consciousness. But if you are sincerely trying, then you are not a casual devotee. But you are just flowing with the casualness that your mind is demanding. You understand what I'm saying? But you are constantly struggling with your mind and not giving into the casual demands of the mind, which the mind does, right? I mean, you may have a poster which is something which is not to be seen, but you're fighting that, I don't want to see that. Then you're not a casual devotee, right? So whether you are successfully doing it, that's a second discussion. But the fact that you are struggling, a struggling devotee cannot be a casual devotee. Who is genuinely struggling. A casual devotee will just flow with the current of casualness. So I'll just flow, I'll chant Hare Krishna, I'll just come to temple. Everything is casual. Bhakti Tirth Maharaj, which is one of my very special moods that he gave us as a gift to us, is that a devotee should always be in the emergency consciousness. What is the emergency consciousness? Means that, emergency means, suppose there is, around there are sirens blaring and there's bombs. Can you just casually do things? Prabhupada was on a different level. He was casually making puris. That's a different level of casualness. That's like the highest level of casualness. But you will be Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram. Right? I know devotees in Ukraine. There are many of my friends. I even now I talk to them every week. They say that, I said, how are things now? I said, things are better. I said, what do you mean better? And now there are sirens every hour. I said, means what? I said, earlier it was every 10 minutes there were sirens. There were 10 minutes bombs were coming from Russia. But now, every 1 hour, so they find it very nice. Huh? But when the sirens are blaring, none of us, our generation, those who are in the 70s, born in 70s and after that, we have not seen a war, lucky for us. Huh? But for people who have seen wars, I mean, it is, my parents would explain that there were sirens blaring and they would, of course, that time it was a different way of warfare. So they would say, shut off your lights, nothing should be dark, and it was a serious, in that situation, you cannot be casual, right? You will be intense, because kabhi bhi kuch bhi ho jayega. Bhakti Tirth Maharaj said that we should have that emergency consciousness, self-induced emergency in our life. Anything can happen anytime. Better I do the best right now. That's why Radha Maharaj many times says that chant as if this is your last mantra. How will you chant if it is your last mantra? You will not scratch. You will forget all your scratching and all your messages and everything. You will desperately cry out, right? Right? You will not say, "Mera message aaya." You will not bother about all these things. You understand? So that's not a casual devotee. If you are intense. So that, if we are all practicing that, we are not trying to say that becomes intense means becomes too grave. So, Hare Krishna, abhi to sab. Enjoy Krishna consciousness, but be conscious of Krishna as much as possible. You understand? And Krishnaize your activity as much as possible. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.